All right, next question from Abby. In your last Q&A, you spoke about staying grounded in our adult selves. I actually said grown-up parts of us because adult self is one of the four people within, and so is the inner parent, and together those are actually your grown-ups, not your adult selves. Um, so so back to the question, or I'll start again. In your last Q&A, you spoke about staying grounded in our grown-up parts of us when we're around family members. You painted a picture of going into these situations with the mentality, this is who I am now, and I'd love for you to get to know me, and we'll take it from there. How can we put this into action to bring our adult self into our family relations? That is a fantastic question, Abby. And this is a question that a lot of INF types in particular have a lot of challenges around, because it we are so highly intuitive and so highly feeling that we can pick up what our parents are feeling about us, and that naturally kind of downgrades us back into being their children as opposed to real people. So how can you put this into action with your family relations? Is it's little things like, somebody says, so you're visiting your parents, they say, they make an assumption about you. You can just say, hey, you know what? I see how that would have been the case when I was a child, but now I'm thinking this. Or, if they don't ask for your opinion on something, if they just try to kind of steamroll situations, you go like, hey, how about we do this? This would be right for me. So you kind of bring yourself as the adult that you now are, as the grown-up person that you now are, into their picture. Now it's going to challenge them a little bit, okay? So please don't expect it to be if they're stuck with thinking that you're their child, which they probably are, because parents generally care for their children, and they have a DNA, it's in their DNA to protect them, and they'll always see them as their offspring. So it's probably going to be challenging for them. But just asserting yourself and your differentiating opinions from how they led you as a child into who you are right now, and just persistently doing that, and don't get upset with them if you can about getting upset about this change, because it's understandable. It's big for them, when you start for the first time to give people some boundaries, to set some boundaries, it's a big deal for them. So if you can, give them some grace. If you can't, then don't take it out on them, but deal with it in the privacy of your own mind, because whatever energy you're bringing into the situation, it's how the situation will continue to develop. So be really careful about your investment, whether it's positive or negative, into the situation. So just those kinds of things where you just slightly assert yourself. If something isn't right for you, you can say it because you're now grown up. You're no longer under their care. If they're trying to project onto you that, hey, this is how you've always thought about this, you can say, well, as I've grown up, I've realized that it's not how I feel about it anymore. So those kinds of things. So I hope that answers that question for you, Abby.